There's a road in almost every open-world game. A main road. Direct. Efficient. It goes from where you are to where you need to be. And almost no one takes it. Instead, you head toward that hill you noticed in the distance. Then the river beyond it. Then the forest on the other side of the river. Because something about the tree line looked interesting from the top of the hill. An hour later, you're nowhere near where you were supposed to go, and you couldn't be happier. Nobody told you to go this way. No quest marker pointed here. No reward was waiting at the end of this particular detour. You just wandered, and the wandering was the point. But why? Why do we instinctively choose the long way around? And what is it about exploration? Not arrival, not completion, but the act of moving through unknown space that feels so fundamentally right. Every game world has an edge, a boundary where the world stops and the void begins. And every explorer knows the feeling of walking toward it, not to cross it, not to find what's beyond it, but because the edge represents something important, the limit of the known, the place where your map runs out and the unknown begins. Humans have always been drawn to that edge. Long before games existed, we were a species that climbed mountains, not because there was anything useful at the top, but because we wanted to see what was on the other side. We crossed oceans in wooden boats with no guarantee of return, driven by nothing more practical than the need to know what was out there. That impulse, ancient, irrational, deeply human, is still inside every one of us. And games are one of the few places in modern life where it gets to run free. You can't exactly set off into unexplored wilderness on a Tuesday evening, but you can walk to the edge of your game world and stand there, looking out at the boundary between the known and the unknown. And something in your oldest self recognizes that feeling and is satisfied by it. Think about the last time you found something in a game that you weren't looking for. A hidden valley tucked behind a waterfall. A ruined building on a hilltop that no quest sent you to. A perfect campsite by a lake that exists for no mechanical reason, just because someone decided the world should have beauty in it. And you stopped. You just stood there, inside a game, looking at something that didn't need to exist. That feeling has a name. It's called serendipity, the joy of finding something wonderful without looking for it. And it's become one of the rarest experiences in modern life. We've optimized discovery out of our world. Search engines give us exactly what we ask for. Nothing more, nothing less. Recommendation algorithms predict what we want before we know we want it. GPS reroutes us the moment we take a wrong turn, erasing the possibility of accidentally finding somewhere we didn't know we needed to go. The beautiful accident has become nearly extinct, except in games. In a well-built game world, the wrong turn is never truly wrong. The detour always leads somewhere. The valley nobody told you about contains something worth seeing, even if it's just the particular way the light falls at this specific time of in-game day. Games have preserved the art of the beautiful accident, and every time you find something without looking for it, your brain releases the same cocktail of reward chemicals it evolved to release when your ancient ancestors stumbled upon a fresh water source or a hillside full of fruit. Discovery feels good. It always has, and it always will. Here's something that separates great game worlds from merely good ones. It's not the content. It's the spaces between the content. The long stretch of road between two villages. The quiet valley with nothing in it but grass and wind. The mountain path that takes 10 minutes to climb and offers nothing at the top except a view. In game design, these are called breathing spaces. Moments where the world isn't asking anything of you. No enemies, no objectives, no decisions. Just space. And they are, paradoxically, some of the most memorable moments in gaming. Because in those empty spaces, your imagination fills the gap. You start to think, to notice, to ask questions about the world you're moving through. Why is this valley uninhabited? Who built that road and where were they going? What happened to the village that should be here, based on the size of this field? The empty spaces make the world feel real. They suggest a history that exists beyond what you can see. They whisper that this world was here before you arrived and will continue after you leave. And they give you something increasingly rare. Unstructured time inside an experience. Time that belongs entirely to you. Time that has no agenda. In a life packed with schedules and notifications and to-do lists, the empty spaces in games aren't boring. They're a relief, a deep, necessary exhale in the middle of everything. But exploration in games does something beyond entertainment or relaxation. Something that quietly changes the way you move through the real world too. Exploration isn't just an activity, it's a way of seeing. The explorer's mindset asks, what's over there? What's behind this? What would happen if I went left instead of right? What does this place look like from the other side? It's a mindset built on curiosity rather than efficiency, on openness rather than optimization, on the belief that the world contains more interesting things than your current path is showing you. And it's a mindset that games actively develop, not by teaching it, but by rewarding it. Go off the path in a good game, and you find something, every time. Maybe not a treasure chest or a rare item, but something. A view, a detail, a story told through environment rather than dialogue. Over time, that reward shapes how you think. You start to notice that the world outside games works the same way. That the side street you never take probably leads somewhere interesting. That the book you picked up randomly contains exactly the idea you needed. That the conversation you almost avoided turns out to be the one you'll still be thinking about a week later. The explorer's mindset doesn't stay inside the game. It leaks out, quietly, gradually. And the player who spent years wandering off the main path in virtual worlds finds themselves one day taking the long way to work on purpose. Stopping at a cafe they've walked past 100 times, picking up a subject they know nothing about just to see what's in it. Not because a quest marker told them to, but because somewhere along the way, they learned that the detour is almost always worth it. Here's the thing about destinations that games eventually teach you. Arriving is not the point. You spend hours working toward a goal, gathering resources, building towards something, planning an expansion, and then one day, you complete it. The building is finished. The settlement is established. The objective is ticked. And for a moment, just a moment, you feel it. The satisfaction of arrival. Then what? If you've played enough of these games, you know exactly what happens next. You look around. You find a new direction. You set a new goal. You start moving again. Because arrival is not a state you can live in. It's a doorway, a brief pause between one journey and the next. This is one of the most honest things games teach us about life, and one of the least comfortable. we spend enormous amounts of time and energy convinced that arrival will be the answer, the promotion, the finished project, the house finally, the way we want it, the goal we've been working toward for years. And when we get there, we feel it, briefly, genuinely. And then we look around and we're already wondering what comes next. This is not a flaw in us. It's how we're designed. We are not a species built for stillness. We are built for movement, for horizon chasing, for the next valley, the next hill, the next edge of the map. Games show us this truth without judgment, and then they hand us a new direction to walk in. Because the game doesn't end when you arrive. It ends when you stop exploring. And the best players, the ones who find the most in these worlds, are the ones who understand that arrival is just the beginning of the next part of the journey. Years from now, you won't remember the objectives you completed in your favorite games. You won't remember the numbers, the resources collected, the quests finished, the achievements unlocked. What you'll remember is a road, a specific road, in a specific game, at a specific time of day. Maybe the light was doing something extraordinary. Maybe the music was exactly right. Maybe you were tired, and the walk through that particular landscape felt like exactly what you needed. You'll remember a hilltop with a view that stopped you in your tracks, a river you followed for no reason, a forest path you took simply because it looked like it might lead somewhere interesting. You'll remember the moments of pure, purposeless movement through a world that asked nothing of you except your attention. These are the memories that last, not the victories, not the boss fights, not the end screens, the roads, the wandering, the long way around. Because those are the moments when you weren't playing for any reason except the simplest, most human one. You wanted to see what was out there. The main road is always there, efficient, direct, sensible. And sometimes the main road is exactly right. Sometimes you need to get somewhere quickly. Sometimes the destination genuinely matters. But not always, and maybe not even most of the time, because the long way around has something the main road doesn't. It has the unexpected, the unplanned, the moment of beauty that no quest designer placed there, that no guide told you about, that no other player will find in exactly the same moment, in exactly the same light. It has yours. So tonight, when you load in, skip the waypoint, ignore the marker, put the quest on hold for a while. Just walk, see where the world takes you. The destination will still be there. It always is. See you in the next one.